A recent online report from parents claimed that they have found mold growing inside of the popular toddler chew toy, Sophie the Giraffe. One mother decided to clean the toy and noticed air coming out of the hole smelled a little musty, decided to cut it open and found mold living inside of the toy. Another Amazon reviewer alerted readers that when she cut the legs of the teething toy, she found mold and only had had it for a couple of years. Another reviewer said, beware, if you have a drooly baby, moisture will get in the hole and you'll end up with mold. We know mold can grow in moist, confined spaces. It makes me wonder how many toys like this that, look, you know,
it's
squeaky toys that have the little hole in it that causes the sound. I mean, it can go both ways. There is the potential for trapping water. I mean, for that matter, you know, anything that kids take into the tub with them probably can trap water. Anything out by the pool, toys can trap water.
Exactly.
But the question is a little bit of mold really going to translate into making anybody sick?
Yeah, theoretically.
Theoretically, but most likely if you had an immune problem, your immune system was off, and
well, if you had a child who, and I'm not talking about this particular toy, I'm saying in general, mold tends to hide. It tends to hide from us so that we visually don't see it. It hides behind drywall. It hides in dark corners. And if you have a child who has difficulties with allergies or asthma and you don't know why, and every time they come home, their symptoms are worse, that's when the investigation has to occur. And if theoretically, you know, you've got a couple toys and it could, and I think it's just one to think about. But yeah, you're right. It's not as though it becomes some awful thing where if they're playing with it in their mouth,
they're more for the exception that if you have a hyperallergenic child like that and does come home and get symptoms, that you have to play sleuth a little bit, determine.
But you got to check
something
everything
at home.
In that case.
You do, but from a practical standpoint, like as kids, we all kind of did some disgusting things. Like we licked things we shouldn't lick. Kids dip their...
Play with stuff that we shouldn't have played. But that's why we have good, strong immone systems.
Right, exactly.
And why we don't get sick.
If a kid were to ingest mold, the digestive system will actually take care of that. So
well, eating mold's not a problem. Moldy cheese is one of my favorite cheeses out there.
Yeah.
No, it is. You know, that's a lot of times that's part of the process when but inhaling the spores is the risk. It's, you know, ingestion is the inhalation of spores. Now, most mold is fairly benign, and generally, as you mentioned, it's not dangerous. And in this particular case, we did reach out to Sophie the Giraffe for a statement. They responded by saying, it is not possible that saliva could cause the type of mold formation shown in the pictures. Internal studies have been conducted and indicated that it is improbable or in really rare cases that saliva can transform into mold. It seems that the inside body of the giraffe is still wet, which leads us to believe that there was presence of water inside the giraffe that could have caused the mold. We can furthermore assert that this situation occurred after the product was purchased. Takeaway here is literally anything where moisture is trapped can and will potentially grow mold, particularly in hot, humid environments. I know it's less humid out here in California, but mold seems to be everywhere where I live in Tennessee.